Hi, I'm Katie, the Membership Development Coordinator with the Greater Fairbanks Chamber, and I'm here with Colt, the Executive Director of Fairbanks Youth Soccer Association, and we're going to find out more about all the things that they do here in our community. So Colt, can you share with me a little bit, well not a little bit, share a lot of it about this really cool new flooring that we have here in the Carlson Center?
We can share a lot. So you probably recognize we're in the Carlson Center if you look up and around, but if you walked in with your head down, you would not have realized that we were in the Carlson Center, because this is a completely new endeavor that we have here in the community. What we're standing on right now is, I guess, layer number 4, 5. We got concrete floor of the Carlson Center. There's an ice rink on top of that, because we had Nanook's game last weekend. We got an MMA event this weekend, and then next Thursday another Nanook's game. So we've got ice. On top of the ice is this hard panel arena deck is what they call, and then we have 50-foot rolls of rubber underlayment, about 80 of those, and then we have what's called sport court. So these are 10 by 10 inch panels. It's plastic, and you don't typically associate little plastic panels with high quality sport flooring, but it's actually, so the company name is Sport Court, and they are like the official flooring for FIFA. It's like the international version of volleyball, similar to FIFA for soccer. Tennis at a national and international level also uses this company, a different version of their flooring. NCAA for college volleyball, a lot of facilities use this. I think even the Pepsi Center, they told me that when it converts from hockey to NBA, they use this type of flooring. So this is their highest end that they have, and we ordered a few of their panels, and guys from the company came up in August to help with the taping. We gave them a layout to say, here's all the different lines and the sports we want to offer and the dimensions that we understand and the colors we want for each of the sports. And so together we taped it, and then we got to paint it. Down on my hands and knees, I think there's probably one line that's a little thicker than others, because I was going heavy on the red for the pickleball courts. But I wanted to show you over here to the side what these panels are like. So it's like a big giant jigsaw puzzle, especially now that we have to be particular with the lines and getting them in order. But on these blank ones, you can see the nice, very satisfying click, 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 click. We have a tool, call it an unzipper tool, that when we take them apart, you can do it in long stretches. So it's that nice, satisfying auditory experience. So this is one panel of our sport court flooring. So they're pretty durable in terms of the strength. There's the shock absorption factor. The rubber underlayment also helps with some of that, as well as holding things in place. So, but this is our court. You can see it's the equivalent of many school gyms all put together.
When was Fairbanks Youth Soccer Association established? So how long have you been doing all this?
So soccer in Fairbanks has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Officially, our organization was formed, I think it was May 5th, 1978.
How many activities do you currently host now? So
Currently,
obviously soccer.
Yeah, so during the majority of the year with our indoor programs, it's solely been indoor soccer. We refer to indoor soccer as the activity that elsewhere in the world is called futsal, F-U-T-S-A-L. So futsal is 5v5 played on a hard court surface with a ball that is a low bounce ball. This is a futsal ball, and it does not bounce as much as a normal soccer ball. And that's to keep the activity lower to the ground for indoor space. It doesn't roll off as much, so it's easier to control and manipulate and keep the ball at the kids' feet. So we have soccer year-round. A few years ago, we were asked to go ahead and absorb the adult soccer program underneath us as well. Our primary purpose, our mission since 1978, has been youth soccer, to promote, manage, and hold youth soccer programs. We expanded that purpose to have a secondary purpose of same soccer, but for adults. We added lacrosse as an additional purpose. So our governing documents, again, were updated to say, from time to time, if there's interest in the community, we will offer non-soccer sports as a way to get more youth and adults active in the community, as well as more people engaged with the organization as a whole. So lacrosse was added. This year, Ultimate Frisbee, so Midnight Sun Ultimate, was added both a youth and an adult component. So as of right now, we've already been offering soccer for years, and lacrosse, and ultimate frisbee. Our purpose of adding those other non-soccer sports was to not try and compete with existing programs. So we're not going to go add like a youth basketball program or volleyball or softball or anything like that, but to fill in the gaps of activities that aren't available. And again, only if there's interest in it.
How young are your youngest athletes?
So 2. We've been expanding that over the years to add younger programs as families have said, oh, I wish you had something for my son here. And I'm like, well, how old is he? And we have a program for 2-year-olds called I Can Play Soccer Too. Cheesy, yeah. That's not like suiting them up full on. Let's play 10v10 of 2-year-olds. It's more of like an a la carte. Pay a small amount, come try it out once. Maybe you sign up for multiple sessions, but kind of a standalone come experience organized physical activity that happens to have a soccer ball.
How old is your most seasoned athlete?
I think we have an adult league player who often will sign up who's in his 60s.
Very nice.
Yeah, we'd take them older if anybody wanted to out there.
All right.
if your primary health provider says you can go play soccer, we've got co-ed adult recreational league, so happy to have you.
Are there any sports that you don't currently host that you're looking to add in the future?
Definitely. So we have some equipment on the way. We have some lines painted on the ground. Our plan is to offer other things besides soccer in addition to what we already do. Probably not doing much for lacrosse during the winter, except for maybe some of the ones that use a softer ball. Could potentially do some at ultimate frisbee. But in terms of the lines that are already painted, as you can see, there's 3 different courts in here. We've got these yellow lines on all 3 of the spaces that have futsal lines, so you can see kind of the goalie area, the penalty area here. The white lines we see here are regulation tennis court lines. Blue lines that you see is a regulation volleyball court. The white lines are for basketball. And then we have the red here are 3 pickleball courts. So pickleball courts are 20 by 40. It's nice. You can fit 3 of them in the same space as one basketball court. So court 1 will have options for, at least with what's painted, soccer, basketball, pickleball. And courts 2 and 3 have soccer, volleyball, tennis.
What gives you the ability to add those activities? Is it sign up? Is it community interest? Is it sponsorship? Like, what makes or breaks those opportunities moving forward?
I mean, obviously, this wasn't free. We're grateful for Mount McKinley Bank working with us to be able to finance the purchase of this. But in reality, in order to even make the down payment, we had a huge contribution from Tanana Valley Sports Foundation. And so we have to give our gratitude for them to make it possible for us to even get this on the way earlier in 2022. We do have a donation and a fundraising campaign going on to help facilitate that financing part so that we're not sitting on that for many years. But we needed to get this so that it could happen starting this winter. On our website, in the future, which is www.fairbanksyouthsports.org, we'll have kind of a whole smorgasbord of days and events and the types of things you can sign up for. Anything that's taking place out here needs to be considered an FYSA program. So even if we've got basketball lines, but again, we're not a basketball program.
Right.
But if the local basketball community wants to use that, we as an association can have associate members or associate member groups that are affiliated with us and become an FYSA program, but they still are their own separate entity in terms of saying, hey, well, we'd like some court space. How can we, as in a group, also be a member of FYSA and our participants be members of FYSA, and then we can allocate time for that particular FYSA program. So that's how that'll work. There's going to be, I think, all sorts of metaphorical seats at the table where folks are then saying, well, we like some and we like some, and so we're going to have to adjudicate that and try and spread as much of this time and space as we can.
With all of this going on and all the opportunity that exists and everything that's already established, do you need volunteers?
Volunteers, we even have some paid help positions. It's quite a process installing this whole flooring. Taking it down is also a process, but it's very different. When sometimes you could use 30 people and it'll make it go quick, and sometimes any more than 8 is going to actually make it worse. And so literally tonight, 10 o'clock, we're taking this down because it's the end of our time for this week. And as soon as we're done with this video, I'm gonna go be posting some help wanted. We absolutely could use volunteers. We're looking for interested folks who might have an activity that they would like to add to our slate of FYSA programs, if we were able to allocate some time for them. Sure, though, we do have, I think, over the course of the winter, 13, maybe 14 cycles where we have the space and then we don't have the space. And so we will always be open if someone says, well, shoot, you know, I often am up late at night. I don't mind if you ever have a takedown process that starts at 10 p.m. I can come help. Some of our setup days are on Sundays at noon, and so it's going to take an army.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll wrangle some of that for you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And then
what are you doing tonight?
Probably sleeping.
Sleeping?
If I'm being honest.
I've heard of that.
Sleep's great.
Sleep.
You should try it.
Yeah.
So how can someone learn more or sign up, whether it's for your activities, whether it's for volunteering? Where do they go to find out all the things and
the goal is to have direct everything onto the website, so you'll be able to click and see, well, here's a whole slate. Like I'm free. What can I sign up for? Or I'm only interested in my drop-in pickleball times. You know, what days and times are those available? And can I do like a one flat fee and be able to come whenever I want, or is it kind of a single visit purchase? So all of that is just going to be updated here on our website, like over the course of this next month. www.fairbanksyouthsports.org. fairbanksyouthsports.org. Yeah, that's where it's all going to be.
Perfect. All right, well, we're going to start wrapping up here, so we have some rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire, all right.
Just go with your gut. All right, winter or summer?
Oh man, I love the cold, but I hate the snow. I know I'm not really I'm in the right place for some of that, but if it was like 30 below but green grass, I'm in heaven. So I love the midnight sun, but I like the cold more than I like the heat.
I love it. Soccer or lacrosse?
Soccer.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Futsal.
Coaching or reffing?
Oh, reffing is my background in soccer. I actually had a bad accident when I was 13, put me in a wheelchair for a long time, but I was still there at the fields. I had siblings who played. By the time I could run again, it wasn't as good, but it was all still up here. So I started reffing in 1999, and I still maintain that certification. I'm like a referee instructor, and so we have lots of referees over the course of the year that are underneath us. So reffing is my background. So if you ask me like technical, could you give us a short explanation of the rules of soccer? We would need some popcorn. So I like officiating. I usually will judge it when I'm watching a game and I have no dog in the fight. They're like, well, which team do you like more? I'm like, I don't know. Which one's being worse to the ref?
You're like, I'm watching the ref.
I'm watching the ref.
All right. Favorite athlete of all time?
So the knee-jerk reaction to favorite athlete of all time, I'd say Nacho Libre. But if I had to give a real answer, probably like non-fictional athlete.
No, that's
I'd say Roger Federer. I think he was just a beast, but he is. He's just so humble. He's a gentleman in a sport that traditionally has always been like gentleman and gentlewoman kind of sport, but as the years goes on, there's a lot more bad boys in tennis and whatnot, but Roger Federer, I think, is class.
Love it.
Yeah.
Class act. Love it. All right. So, and if there's one final thought that you could leave our listeners with, what would it be?
Oh, I think that I don't think I'm anything special. There's a lot of people in this town that are involved in recreation, in youth sports, adult sports, or whatever. Many years ago, I saw some tagline I don't even remember where it was, but someone who had a similar job, their like email signature underneath, some people will quote scripture or inspirational quote or whatever, and this person said, "I work so kids can play." And I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio, that, the meme, right? That just stuck with me. And so my final thought is that I work so kids can play. I work with people who work so kids can play. And there are a lot of folks in our community who work so they can pay for their kids to play. It's so much time and energy they put into that. Or they work and then they also volunteer so that kids can play. So some of us have the fortune of being able to have a job in this kind of world, but that's a small percentage of us. There's so many people in our community and in the world who are putting a lot of time and effort and money into making good experiences for youth to be able to enjoy something other than sitting, in front of a screen. And I'm all for screen time too, but there's just something so special about participating even solo sports or fitness activities, group fitness activities. And so I think a lot of people are surprised when they find out how while obviously I'm pro soccer and pro FYSA, I am pro just youth sports in our entire community. I will advocate for other programs that maybe are struggling or being impacted negatively by some outside factor. And so I work so kids can play, and so do so many others, and they deserve all the support we can give them.
Well, we really appreciate all that you do in the community, your work, of course, your membership, and that's what we do is we advocate for all of these small businesses, nonprofits, things in the community. So thank you for your time.
Are you choking up? You look like you're getting emotional.
I love
It's
Fairbanks.
okay. I love Fairbanks too.
I might not love soccer as much as you do, but I love Fairbanks. And thank you so much for all that you do and for sharing with the community all that you do.
Welcome. We look forward to seeing many of you out here in the future. So.